This is the cranial alignment phase. In yoga, at the end of yoga class, there's a posture called Shavasana. And Shavasana is where we all lay down and take a short nap together on the floor. Yoga loosens everything up and makes a whole lot of space and gets the fluids moving, and we need a moment to integrate it. One would never take a yoga class and skip the Shavasana phase. I've never seen anybody skip that phase. It's very important. This is my version of Shavasana following an assisted yoga stretching session. So it's all gentle. I'm going to cradle her occiput with my fingers, and I'm going to touch the greater wings of sphenoid, which are her temple. It's a very light touch. If you push too hard, it doesn't work. I learned this from my wife. She said that her teacher, Jim Jellis, said that his teacher, Ann Wells, said that it's like you're wearing a jetpack and you're flying along, you see a beautiful horse galloping in a field, and you land on the horse and you slowly turn off the jetpack in a way that the horse doesn't even notice that you have landed on it. You have joined the horse's rhythm. Keep in mind the cranium is moving, the frontal bone's going this way, the occiput's going that way, the parietal bones are going this way, the sphenoid is flying. There's a lot going on here, and if you just clamp in on it, it's not going to happen. Play with it for a little while. Some people get it instantly, and some people it takes time. It took me some time. So here, cradling the occiput, I'm lightly touching the greater wings of sphenoid at the temple, very light touch. And I imagine that the skull is a water balloon with changing hydrostatic pressures. I follow them. Do you remember me talking about the indirect technique? You push the scoliosis the wrong way, it pushes against you. Well, I'm kind of pushing on her skull and fishing around for, is it going to push against me? Or, at the same time, I'm pushing on the skull, seeing if it wants me to push on it and if it's going to move a little bit. It's all very subtle. It's really there. I promise you it is, and people absolutely love this. So I'm holding her head. The body through our session has been relaxed. We've made a lot of space, and the cranium hasn't caught up with it. The cranium is a microcosm for the body. It wants to align with the body's new relaxation. It wants this. So here goes. Holding Christy's head here, and I'm not staring straight at her. Little dogs and children don't like being stared directly at. Our innate doesn't like being stared directly at. I'm looking at her peripherally. It's not about me looking at her innate, it's about her innate looking at me to see if I'm worthy to come into me and use my hands. Her innate and my innate are very old and know each other well. If I get super quiet and super still, I just follow it. I'm not really doing it, I'm following, I'm being used. Yet I'm still palpating and following. So it can go to the right and go to the left. One side can go clockwise, the other side can go counterclockwise. It just happens. There's a whole lot of motion in there. And if you just play with it for a while, keep an open mind, it's going to come to you. At some point, the cranium makes it and it reaches a still point. Biodynamic osteopaths state that there are 4 levels of stillness. How I define that in my system, which is different than theirs, the first system is her cranium just got still. Boom. Next, I imagine that her body becomes weightless and floats up, and I'm palpating her entire connective tissue tree from her toes and fingers all the way up, as though I can feel the wholeness at the same time. And I may just lightly traction her. You can feel that tug in the system where there's a little tension in her low back on the left, and I push against it, and it starts pushing against me again in direct technique, and I'm just kind of pushing into her connective tissue system, making it a little worse. And then it pushes against me and it lets go, and then I just get quiet and still, and I feel in her middle back there's a little area that just there's no movement there, and I just kind of traction and push into it and wiggle with it and push on it until it starts pushing back on me, and that unwinds. I keep doing this until the body goes still. Now her cranium and body have aligned into stillness. At this point of stillness, to the next level of stillness, energy starts to move. Energy doesn't move well in a system that is contorted and tight. When we get to the still point of body and cranium, this thing just happens where there's a lot of energy moving around, and then that slows down and stops, and then comes the fourth level, which is a deeper stillness. We think we're still, we go deeper into the ocean, deep, deep, deep down to where there's no movement, stillness, or into the outer reaches of outer space where things are perfectly quiet and still. It's just deeper stillness, and hang out there. At this point, it is as though my hands are glued to her head and they don't want to let go. And I go, okay, I'll hang out here with you. And I wait. And I touch even lighter, 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 because she has reached that fourth level of stillness. And eventually, my fingers become unglued and I can let go. Takes me about 3 to 5 minutes. I have a relatively short attention span. My wife, Sean Murray, can sit there for an hour and a half and hold your head. It's amazing what the woman can do. I don't have and don't want to have the patience for that, so I shortened it. I enjoy doing it. People enjoy it, and I ask people for feedback, and you'll be surprised at the feedback that people give you about what their experience was. It may have only been 3 to 5 minutes, yet for them, it's a timeless experience. Also, as a body worker doing very physical body work, it's nice to get paid to just sit here and hold someone's head and experience love and light.